Having been in the hobby for about 2.5 years now, it's time for the first 3 aquariums that I've ever owned to get a much needed refresh. I had some ideas about exactly how I wanted to scape each aquarium, and to make that happen, my wife and I took advantage of some much needed us time, hitting the road and going to 3 amazing local fish stores. First, we went to 2 of our favorite in the area, going to London Town Tropicals and House of Tropicals in search of everything we might need to set up each aquarium. And they did not disappoint. Then, while traveling to Pittsburgh for another one of my son's flag football tournaments, we found one of the best local fish stores we'd been to in a long time, at Elmer's Aquarium. This store was immaculate, its aquariums were pristine, and when it came to scaping material, it had everything you could possibly need. So now, feeling confident about having everything that I needed, I gave Will a call to see if he wanted to come over and help in the process. And that's what we're getting into in today's video. And stick around to the end of the video where we highlight Elmer's Aquarium, as it was truly one of my best local fish store experiences. We hope that you enjoy. So let's get into why I felt it was time to refresh these aquariums. The military room is probably the most special room in the house to me. I love my basement fish room, and the aquariums and stocking down there is everything that I've ever wanted. But the military room is one that encompasses it all. It captures so much that I hold dear to my heart, and I spend so much time in this room reflecting on my experiences in the military and life in general. But it's also a place in the house that I can just sit back and enjoy my fish. Recently, I found myself being very critical at the appearance of each aquarium. This 55-gallon 5-star General Aquarium has the same decor that I bought when I started in the hobby. The fake plant in the center has been torn to shreds, and the driftwood behind it has some significant blackbeard algae growth. The potted pothos plant that I propagated and introduced into the tank had some significant growth and root growth and was an eyesore in the tank as well. I've yet to dabble in the planted realm, and I really like how my 210-gallon came out downstairs, so I decided to use the same process, drilling small holes into the driftwood that I'd chosen as the centerpiece. Then, I used aquarium glue to fill each hole, placing the stems of the fake plant that I bought at Hobby Lobby into each hole. With the centerpiece complete, it was time to start draining the tank and removing it of its current scape. Then I shifted my focus to the flower horn aquarium. This aquarium was previously used as a grow out, so I was able to use large pieces of driftwood to create hides and line of sight breaks. Now, housing a much larger cichlid, I wanted to maximize the space available in the tank. So I decided to remove all the driftwood, which also presented some danger of injuring the flower horn. But before I could do anything, I had to get this guy out of there. He's a biter, and when anything foreign enters the tank, he's all over it. And my daughter's boyfriend figured that out the hard way. Once I had removed him from the tank, I took the larger of the 2 pieces and decided to place it in the far left side of the 5-star General Aquarium. Earlier in the video, I talked about the pothos roots that had become an eyesore. And using this piece of driftwood was perfect, as it was tall and wide, providing me the ability to hide the pothos roots behind it. I then used smaller pieces of fake plants, rock, and driftwood to complete the scape, and I couldn't be happier. Now back over to the Flower Horn 55. I'm indifferent on how this aquarium came out. It is exactly what I wanted in terms of swim space, but the rock scape is definitely questionable. My wife thinks that it's too linear, and to be honest, I definitely agree. But I'm also practical. The linear design helps limit detritus and uneaten food from getting stuck in between the cracks and crevices of the rocks. And with sufficient water movement, be it from a wave maker, pump, or canister output, helps to facilitate keeping the substrate clean. But please, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Just as I'd finished the 2 55-gallon aquariums, Will showed up to help me with the 125. This aquarium has been empty for about 6 months now. It's not that I haven't wanted to put anything in there, as I've had everything you could need to set up an aquarium. But a few months ago, Will and I looked at his new 150 and thought how good it would look if we combined our 2 125 Mbuna aquariums. We both absolutely love that aquarium, but it left a void over here in my fish room. My wife and I share this hobby, and she really wanted to have a 125-gallon aquarium with tons of colorful cichlids. Having owned peacocks, haps, and Mbuna, and with Will having a Lake Tanganyika 125, I decided I'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone. My wife would get the tank with tons of colorful fish, and I'd get to own and observe some new cichlids. So here, over the next 5 to 6 months, I'll be looking to add as many Lake Victorian cichlids as I can. With the water parameters being very similar to those of the other Rift Lake cichlids, I decided to scape this aquarium very similarly. I used one large piece of driftwood at the center of the tank to help support two very large pieces of lace rock on each side. Then, I used 2 pieces of Texas Holy Rock to brace the support of the lace rock, keeping the Holy Rock as hidden as possible. The Texas Holy Rock will also serve as hides for some of the smaller cichlids in the aquarium. Then we used 2 moderately sized and 1 small piece of lace rock to create some larger hides and caves in the structure. You might notice a theme. It is linear and minimal. But for me, at least at this point in my fish keeping, I love for the fish to be the stars of the aquarium. With the scape complete, it was time to add the equipment. To heat this aquarium, like most of my others, I'm using the Aqua 800 watt submersible heater. The Wave Maker is the Unicliff made for 120 to 300 gallon aquariums. And for filtration, I've got one FX2 and one Seacom Tidal hang-on back. The lighting used on this aquarium are 2 24 to 36 inch 18 watt Fluval Aqua Sky LEDs. Will has had a little aggression in his 150 gallon Peacock and Hab tank, mostly attributed to the females he bought when we first got into the hobby. He has also wanted to take them out for a long time, and this presented the perfect opportunity. So he removed all the females that he could clearly identify while adding a subdominant male. We decided that in the time that I'm looking for permanent stocking for this aquarium, we'd use his females to maintain the cycle. With the setup complete and all of the equipment in place, it was finally time to put the water and the fish back into the aquarium. The water is still a little hazy from the substrate and the lace rock, but I'm sure that before I add my first Lake Victorian cichlids, it'll be back to crystal clear. Well, that's all 3 aquariums and their new digs. Will and I really enjoyed this process and will definitely be looking to upgrade and modify other aquariums throughout our fish rooms, so stay tuned. If you made it this far into the video, thank you, but we definitely wanted to highlight one of our best local fish store experiences that we've had in a long time. Every time that we travel, my wife and I are always on the lookout for local fish stores that are in the area. This past week, we visited Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for one of my son's travel flag football games. And before we could even check into our hotel, my wife had found a fish store that by the pictures online, we just had to see for ourselves. And that local fish store is Elmer's Aquarium. As soon as we walked in, I was blown away by everything from its cleanliness to its products and scaping material, as they literally carry almost anything you could imagine. We were immediately greeted by the staff, who were super engaging, knowledgeable, and accommodating, and it was while talking with them that I learned that this fish store had been open since 1969. I couldn't believe it, but the gentleman that I'd spoken with said the ownership is great about maintenance and renovation. Their aquariums were absolutely pristine, both freshwater and saltwater, and the inventory in terms of cichlids was outstanding. So if you're ever in the Pittsburgh area, this is a local fish store that we would highly recommend. We hope that you all enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and until next time, be safe.